the year of 1988, one of the greatest, most influential anime movies of all time was created, and that movie goes by the name of Akira. Akira is a 120-minute sci-fi supernatural action movie adapted from the 87 chapter-long manga series created by Katsuhiro Otomo. Akira really broke the mold and showed just how great an anime movie could really be, and would go on to influence many anime movies for years to come. The story for Akira is set in Japan in the year of 2019, 38 years after the Third World War, a war which was started due to a massive explosion that went off in Tokyo, believed by many to be a bomb. Here we find two rival biker gangs at war with each other, until they find themselves in a situation much larger than they had ever bargained for. Tetsuo, one of the bikers and also one of our main characters, while fighting with the biker gang the Clowns, crashes into a strange looking experimental child, who has escaped from a secret government organisation and is now being hunted down by them. This child has strange psychic abilities such as being able to destroy the surrounding area around him, shield himself from damage, and apparently the ability to teleport. Due to this incident, Tetsuo is taken into custody along with a strange looking child by the government, and the rest of his biker gang are taken into custody by the police for further questioning. Now this is where the anime kind of differentiates to the manga. While everything that happens in the movie does happen in the manga, a lot was stripped out to make it possible to make this into a movie. Which is to be expected really, as this is an 80 chapter story, and they are long chapters by the way, all crammed into 120 minutes of screen time. If you work that out, that's 1.4 chapters per minute. Yeah. Honestly, the story for Akira can be rather confusing due to this fact, but I really feel as though the creators did a good job of deciding what to cut out and what to leave in from the manga. After the incident at the start of the movie, Tetsuo is tested and has several experiments done on both his mind and body, causing him to suffer extreme headaches, mental illness, along with uncovering incredible psychic abilities. The friendship between Tetsuo and the leader of his biker gang Kaneda is really the main focus of both the anime and the manga. Tetsuo and Kaneda have been friends ever since childhood when they were both at the same orphanage together. Kaneda treats Tetsuo much like a little brother and protects him from any danger. Over the course of his life, Tetsuo begins to resent Kaneda for this, due to him always protecting him and hurting his ever so manly pride. So once Tetsuo gains these amazing powers, he begins to feel more independent, and this is really where the story of the movie tears itself away from the source material of the manga. In the anime movie, the powers that Tetsuo gains cause him to quickly become mentally unstable and lose control, causing him to lash out without reason, while Kaneda tries to save him from himself. There are other differences between the anime movie and the manga, which make them feel like vastly different stories, but as this is a review of the movie and not a comparison between the two, I'll try to stop myself from comparing them any further. Honestly, I would like to see a series of Akira where they go into further detail and really make it as close to the manga as possible, but as it's been 25 years already, I won't hold my breath. Other than the main two characters of Tetsuo and Kaneda, there really isn't anyone else worth mentioning on a large scale. Obviously you have the other members of Tetsuo and Kaneda's biker gang, Yamagata and Kai, who, while strong and enjoyable characters, just don't get enough screen time, and even less important screen time, to make you really care about anything they do. You then have the head of the government, Colonel Shikishima, a hard-boiled war veteran whose job is to both prevent and harness the immense power of Akira. The Colonel has in his possession 3 children, who have similar powers to that of Tetsuo's, yet less extreme and destructive, one of which being the child Tetsuo crashed into at the start of the movie to gain his powers. Then you have the anti-political group which Kaneda finds himself involved with after trying to get into one of their members' pants, Kei. Although Kei is a member of the anti-political group, it's never really explained why she is and what the group's there to do in the first place, which really is one of the weaknesses of this movie. A lot of the characters have no backstory, and the backstory they have isn't explained very well, which makes it hard to care for any of the characters other than the main two. If the movie could have improved on this fact, it probably would be up there as the best movie of all time, but it's just regarded as a classic and one of the best movies of all time. This movie came out in 1988, and that makes it 1, 2, 3. It's pretty damn old, and to be honest, it looks fantastic even for now. This movie had a huge budget when it was being made all the way back when, and you can really tell. The animation stays solid all the way through this 2-hour long movie, and any scene that involves motorbikes just looks stunning. As I just mentioned, Akira is, well, it's beautiful. when it really comes to just how this show looks, it's a masterpiece. I've had this movie on DVD for as long as I can possibly remember, and I've watched it way over 10 times, and it really always amazed me just how good this movie looked. And then I bought it on Blu-ray, and wow, it looks a million times better. And when you take a masterpiece and make it better, it's pretty special. I watched it like 5 times in a week after that. The music to Akira is so recognisable as Akira. It's a soundtrack that I can easily listen to on its own, and one of those OSTs that when you hear it, you instantly connect it back to this movie. It really does match the movie to perfection. The dub to Akira is definitely solid, and I wouldn't tell anyone you couldn't watch this movie dubbed. There are actually 2 dubs to this movie, one which was released all the way back in 1989, and one that came out in 2001. I fortunately own both, and if you're gonna watch it dubbed, I really recommend you watch the later version. It's just new and better, really. That's all. Akira is one of those anime that has gained a huge following and is regarded as one of those that need to be watched by every and any anime fan worldwide, and that's mostly down to the huge effect that this movie had on the West and the increase in popularity towards anime that it caused. However, Akira is far from perfect. There are simply too many important story elements and character backstory left out, leaving this story a little confusing to a casual viewer. However, it's still a legendary movie and an absolute must-watch for everyone. So, with all of that in mind, I have carefully rated this movie in the categories of story, characters, animation, sound, and of course, my own personal enjoyment. Added it all together and divided it by 5, rewarding the 1988 classic Akira with a score of 8.1. Struggles on both story and characters, but makes up with it with an incredible animation, a great soundtrack, and of course, a solid dub. That's all for this review, so I'll see you later, chaps.